Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 53. In this episode, you'll be hearing from my friend, Shannon Collazo. Here's a short little sneak peek or behind the scenes for you.
My point of view is a middle-aged Caucasian woman in the workplace.
Mm-hmm. But first, do you have an intro for us to do? Do you have like an intro song for us?
Yes, I do.
Share.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to our show. I hope you love it and I hope you grow. There you go.
Thank you.
We wrote it just for this episode of your Facebook Live for O2B. So
can I just put that in my new, like in
Absolutely.
the O2B podcast intro?
Absolutely.
You had this plan, didn't you, friend?
I did. All afternoon, I was like, what would sound really great? I know. A song.
Oh, you spent all afternoon working on it.
All
Thank
afternoon.
you.
All afternoon.
I could tell. Okay, so as you can tell, Shannon and I like to have a good time, like to joke. We laugh a lot. So this episode's going to be a little bit sillier than normal. But I really think that you're going to love it. And there's a lot of great takeaways from it. One, redirect your focus. Like, don't focus on the big goal, but focus on the small, actionable steps that you can take. Shannon and I also talk about our experience running a couple half marathons together. And then you also hear about the power of the people you hang out with. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with supportive people. This was a Facebook Live in our Facebook group. So if you like this kind of thing or want to see it live, then definitely go to the Ordinary to Badass group on Facebook. And now to the episode. Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you're ordinary or badass, I'm glad you're here. Today's guest is Shannon Collazo. Shannon, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, great. You motioned to your chest and I was going to say, you can talk.
Sincerely.
We don't have to mime this whole thing out. Although that could be fun.
It could. Let's do it. Let's just try it. Let's see what happens.
So in case you guys don't know, Shannon, or if you can't tell, Shannon is my friend and she's a total badass. And so I'm excited that she came on the show to talk to us. But Shannon, do you consider yourself ordinary or badass?
I knew you were going to ask me this because I listen to all your podcasts. And I'm like, how would I answer this? I guess I don't know. I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I think that I'm like just like everybody else, but I also have accomplished things that I think I would have never thought I could have done before. So I think that's kind of bad A, if you will.
Okay, give us an example of one of those things.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. One of the things that I'm super excited about, I actually was a high school dropout my senior year. I was one of those kiddos that I was in the college level classes. I was taking AP courses, but my senior year, I was just like over it. But since then, I actually got my associate's degree, my bachelor's degree, and I'm currently working on my master's. So cool.
No. Okay. but you're making light of it. But really, you are pretty badass, and you've done a lot, and you have a lot on your plate, but yet you're still pursuing your dream and going to school to get your degree. So I think that's pretty admirable.
Thanks.
So what's been the hardest thing about going to school?
It actually, my associates and my bachelor's, it wasn't really that hard. My kids were both really little. I actually started going back to school when I think my son was 2 and I was pregnant with my daughter. They're now 5 and 7. But they were smaller, so, you know, they were on set schedules. Babies sleep a lot, or at least mine did. I think the hardest part has been my master's so far. It's just a lot of reading. My undergraduate was in psychology, sociology. Those things are fascinating. I love people. I love thinking of how they think or what makes them tick. I love learning about their background, their story. That's kind of interesting to me, but currently my master's is in business, and that's a little drier than understanding people's personalities or why they think things. And so I think it's just, yeah. And then balancing it. Now, doing what I do now, I have more responsibility at work. My kiddos are older, so they require a lot more time. They want to hang out with mom all the time. They want to go out and play. And then coronavirus came. So that's really cool. Coronavirus happened almost as soon as I signed up to get my master's. I had taken like a 6-month break from school and was, you know, I work with a ton of awesome, amazing women in leadership. And part of the cool thing is that we're always encouraging each other to do more or giving each other advice about things. And my administrator was really encouraging me to get my master's. She's like, you're young enough. This would, you know, for your future, this would be a really good thing. If you can handle it, you should definitely do that. Because I was looking at taking some other leadership courses that they were going to put us through as supervisors. But she was like, well, but you do have your bachelor's, so you should definitely look into that. I looked into it, was like, hey, this will be easy. I've already done the hard work. I'll just sign up for this online schooling, get my master's degree. And then coronavirus hit. I work in healthcare, so my hours went up at work. I turned into a homeschool mom. It's like a lot. So I think just this last chunk of months has been difficult, probably for everybody, but I think just where I was able to kind of will myself through, it's like, oh man, there's a lot more going on right now. So.
And, you know, they say when it rains, it pours. Like, stuff can't just happen like one thing. Like, it has to kind of be a trickle effect of a bunch of things.
But how does that
you went back to the mining
and Ariana Grande song go on? You know the new one that's like, rain on me. No? Okay, just kidding. Listen to it later.
Listen, I'm sure everybody else knows that song. I'm just not that hip with pop culture.
Really, I am. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so yes, I got a little bit lost with the Rain on Me song, but we will go with it.
Yes, we will. Another time.
Okay, so we got a little bit off track, mostly because of me not knowing about Ariana Grande, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
I think that's kind of, I don't know what else to say. I am in my late 30s, not my 40s quite yet. I've been married for 14 years, got married really young. I was 22, so do the math. And then have 2 awesome kiddos. I'm the oldest in my family of 2. The first 2 graduate from college. Huge accomplishment of mine. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I love hanging out with my friends, laughing, music, watching movies. I miss the movie theater so much. Like, so much. We go on long walks sometimes, and every time I go past the movies, I'm like, I just miss seeing a show in there.
And I just
But
laugh because I never see movies
you
unless I'm
do,
with you.
unless it's true.
So,
And for some reason, Christmas time, it's like our jam. There's always a Christmas movie we go see. But
like Elf.
like Elf,
Can't miss Elf.
can't miss it.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was your half marathon journey. Will you tell us a little bit how that started?
Yes, it started when I met this strange person that asked me to run a marathon. No, but we've been friends for a long time. You had gotten into running. I wanted to get into shape. We found a half marathon to run in Vegas. I love Vegas.
Woo-hoo.
I was like, girls trip. I mean, it's for my health. I gotta go watch the kids. And boy, was I naive. I did not train. Actually, I tried to train. Then I got a little sick. Wasn't able to do like the full running to be able to go and feel confident about it. But I still was like, you know what? I'm just going to go and have fun. I'll cheer you on. I don't know if I'm really going to race. And then we went to the little convention beforehand. And again, such an idiot, but the environment was just so exciting. All these people that were like excited to go, selling jelly beans that give you energy and like all the swag. I was like, oh my God, I'm running the marathon too. Even though, oh my gosh, yeah, I don't even know how you said this girl will finish, because I had no idea running shoes were important. I think I had a pair of cross trainers and I literally wore for like 5 years. I didn't even pack socks on that trip. I had to borrow running socks from you, which again, anyone that's running, this is 13.1 miles.
Yes.
That's not an easy thing to do.
So do you remember when you were training for that half marathon?
You know what? Vaguely. I remember more the second time we did it,
So
to be honest.
Here's what I remember. I remember like it was probably like a month or two before that half marathon. Like you got like really, really sick.
Really sick.
And like you were like coughing like crazy. I don't know if it was bronchitis or what it was, but like you could not train at all. And then I wasn't training because I was having back problems. So pretty early on, I was like, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had family members who were running too, but we were like, oh, let's just go to the expo and see, like, we at least have to pick up our swag.
Yeah.
And then, I remember once we got there, you were totally like, I'm in. Kind of, what do you remember what you were thinking at that time?
Honestly, I think one of the probably fun things about me, or maybe annoying things, I think my husband gets annoyed sometimes with this. I am such an experienced person. Like, I think just the experience of going and the rock and roll series is done like on Vegas Strip, so it's all lit up and there are thousands of people that are there. I mean, it's just the excitement of feeling like you're a part of it, or you're it was just kind of like, oh man, I can do it. If this many people, all different ages and body shapes, are here to run, like, I can do this. Not knowing that there was also the 5K, 10K, like there's other races that occur that weekend as well. And who knows, maybe they're running the full marathon. I mean, but I think just seeing everybody, it was kind of like, oh, well, I could probably just run this, no big deal. And I think, your family was there and everybody was doing it, and I don't know, it just seemed like, oh yeah, this will be fun, we can all run together.
What was the longest you had ever ran, or like in a race before that point?
I did a 5K before, and that I mean was no big deal. 5K was probably 5 to 7 miles, was probably maybe 7 was the longest that I had ever ran.
So was it intimidating at all to you going into it?
Yeah, I think I was really, really scared for sure. And then was like, there's no way, because like you said, I was so sick. I had an inhaler with me, and was just like, I don't know. I mean, I think for a lot of people that when they talk about running and stuff, and they first start out, especially like I wasn't like, a picture of like, I don't know, Shape magazine or whatever. I mean, it was like, I hadn't really like had a gym routine or anything in a long time. I had been trying to get up in the morning and go running for a little bit before I went to work every day. Cause in my head, I was like, well, and actually I think you had said like to not concentrate so much on the miles and having that be such a, an overwhelming target to hit, but really like endurance. Like if you can run 30 minutes, which I was doing just fine, then you could probably do 45. If you can do 45, you could probably do an hour. And really just kind of like stretching out time, I think was what I tried to do, what I was trying to do. And still that's intimidating because oh my gosh, I mean, even when you're going for 45 minutes, once you get that 30-minute mark, it's kind of like, oh, this is hard. Everything is hurting and I have way more time to go. So,
yeah. So I don't know about you, but when I did my first marathon, I had this fear or just this like vision in my head that everybody was going to trample me. Like that when I first started, everybody's just going to like I would be slowing everybody down or they'd like run, Did you ever have any worries or any thoughts like that?
Man, you know what I think I did worry about, because you had actually ran before. And I think, and this is me in general, OMG, like I feel like I'm telling my soul story. But I didn't want to hold you back. I didn't want you to feel pressure to have to run with me at the time, because I had never ran like that before. I was thinking like, and I know I work with a lot of runners that are like serious about it. They travel like other countries, and time is really important. I remember when I came back, they were really like, what was your time? What was, that first mile, that fifth mile, the different markers or whatever, like where were you landing? And I was just like, I had to pull up my screenshot that I took because I was like, what are these wackadoos talking about? Like I'm finished. I don't know. But like, I think that I was more amped up about like, oh man, I don't want my pal to feel like she has to like, I'm going to be so slow. I don't want her to have to, run with me. I think that was it.
Yeah. But I think it's so funny how we do that just in general. Like we always think like we're going to slow somebody else down, or we're just taking up all the time, or we're going to mess something up for everybody else. Rather than just kind of doing the best you can do and calling it good.
Yeah.
But no, I think that that's definitely like a common trap or something that's easy to fall into. So when you were running the marathon, what was it, say halfway through, what were you feeling?
Oh man, I was hoping you would ask me these questions because anyone that's watching or watching later who has ran a marathon or is thinking about it, I remember after I completed the first one, by the way, I was like, never again. And my friend was like, you'll forget and do it again. I'm like, you're insane. But I want to say, I feel like actually looking back, I think we started out really good. And then after that 5K, started getting exhausted. Remember, I had like upper respiratory, so there was things going on there. I thought that was going to be my issue, the breathing thing. Not so much. I mean, honestly, for me, it was more, again, the whole, looking at it, the race as the whole 13 miles and thinking like, this is literally never going to end. And then my body, like really like towards the end, towards the middle, it was hurting. I was having to walk a little bit, but towards the end, I was like, my knees were like noodles, and actually like I thought I was going to collapse. Like they were doing that jiggly thing where I was like, oh my, and I was like, please don't fall. Like this is so embarrassing. I have never lost control of my bowels. And I was like, this is going to happen. I'm going to mess myself in the middle of this race. And they had one porta potty.
It was insane.
I even tried to like wait for a second. And then it was like, there's like 75 people waiting for, I might as well just keep going. I will probably get to the end of this line before I get into that bathroom. So, I mean, there's definitely like physical things happening to my body trying to finish this race.
Yeah, and that's definitely like a running thing, like it happens, so you try to prepare for it or maybe figure out your meals ahead of time. But we didn't really do that at all because we didn't think we were going to run it. Like we had signed up, and then like with my back issues and then your coughing and health issues, we weren't thinking we were going to run it, so we really didn't prepare our meals or figure. And plus, you're in Vegas.
It was not
And then I think and this is the first time I had did this, but I think it worked well. And that one, we tried to do the 5 minutes running and 1 minute walking, 5 minutes running, 1 minute walking. I thought that worked pretty good. What do you think about it?
Actually, what I thought worked the best was you kept pointing out markers in the road. When I wanted to stop, you were like, honestly, I think that first race, I only completed it because I had you like not letting me quit. You were like, you can do it, it's fine. Or you let me take breaks and we walked, but we kept moving. And then you would point out markers and say, okay, we're going to walk to that pole and then we're going to run. And then we're going to run to that, light over there, and then we'll walk. So it was like, I could, I don't know, like just see like visually in front of me, okay, all I have to do is just run to that stop sign or run to that pole or whatever, and then I can have a walk break. So I think that really broke it up for me because I could see it right in front of me.
Yes, I think you find after you've done it that it's like the kiss of death if you stop. Like if you stop moving, it's just like you don't want to get moving again.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So what did you learn about yourself after that first race?
You had said that it was really a mental thing before, but I think that just solidified it for me. That, and then because after, like, I thought I was going to collapse. I had to use the restroom as soon, like, they're handing out waters and bananas, and I'm like pushing people out of the way, trying to find the nearest restroom. And then, but I think, after that, we got dressed up real cute. We went out dancing. Like, I had humongous, because you guys, again, the not good shoes, borrowed socks. I had humongous, giant blisters on both of my feet. And I still put on little high heels and went out in my little new romper that I bought just that weekend. And, but I felt like I did feel cool after. Like, oh, I did that. Like, I took a selfie in the elevator with my new medal. It's still hanging in my office. That was a cool feeling for sure.
What would you say to the woman who doesn't think that she could run a half marathon or a marathon?
So after we got home, and then when we were excited, signed up for the next year and actually started, which I never thought I would do again. Because again, it felt cool, but it was like not that cool. Like cool, but I never did it again. We did start training, and I was like, okay, just a little, here and there. Because you do, if it does feel good after you're done, right? You feel like you accomplished something, your body feels good. And then I had watched that. Well, we tried to go see it in the theater, and then it was closed. But I had ended up renting Brittany Runs a Marathon. Yeah. And to this day, it's still one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, I think it's so good.
Because it's so good. And I think, it was just encouraging because somebody had said something in the movie about like, oh, did you win the race? And it was like, well, it's not about winning. It's just about completing it. And it's like, whoa. mind blow. So true, right? And a lot
No,
of
it is
things.
true. Yeah.
It's
And
just like, it's about showing up and actually like just finishing it. And
yes.
I didn't run the whole time, but I still feel like my time was pretty good and we completed it. So
Yeah.
that was
And you know what, like some people get very competitive and I don't care if getting competitive is your thing, do that.
Yeah.
But like for me, if I do a half marathon or if I do a marathon, I'm like, I did a marathon. I don't really care about my time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah,
Exactly.
I'll do my best, but at least I'm doing it, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
So tell me, for you, has it changed at all or like changed your mindset for other things? Like you can push yourself further than you thought you could, anything like that?
Yes. But I think a little bit differently. I'm starting to realize I've always been, I don't like one of those people that I love to be around people, but I don't necessarily, I do like independent work, or I don't like asking others for help. I think that's one of my greatest struggles. Like I always feel like we said earlier, right, that I'm going to bum someone out, or I'm going to bring somebody down, or, they've probably got other things to do. They don't need, to help me out or cheer me up or whatever, work on a project or whatever. But I think what that race showed me was that, man, I really do need other people, like just encouraging you or reminding you, like, no, you can do this. You don't have that. Look how far you came. You don't have that much farther to go. Or, even with school, I just this week had a meeting with my mentor, and I had missed the last couple because work has been so busy, and just kind of felt like, oh my gosh, she's going to be so mad or think I'm not taking this seriously or whatever. And then when I talked to her, and I was kind of just like more exasperated, like, I mean, I'm not good at lying anyways or coming up with a story, but I'm like, I'm just going to tell her the truth. Like, hey, work's been really crazy and I haven't even looked at my schoolwork for 2 weeks. And she was just like more concerned about like making sure I felt okay, and being in healthcare and everything during coronavirus, and really acknowledge like where I was at and what I was doing. And actually, instead of like being like, oh, well, now you're 2 weeks behind, she was like, oh, all you have to do is take this test. You're so good. You're going to be able to just pick the books up where you left off. You're going to pass this. And then this is the next class. What you need to do is stop looking at it as like the full thing. Like, I think I constantly do that, right? Like, it's like you start out with this goal, and then I like, instead of looking at the goal, I like look up at the huge, thing in front of me instead of like just taking pieces. And it's so important to have those people in your blinders or your pals that are like, redirect your focus to be like, no, this is all you have to worry about right now. And actually you're right on target. Like that, you're doing fine. Get out of your head,
Right. Yeah. And I think it's funny because like say reading this book, like how we're reading Big Magic in the OTV Facebook group. I think it's easy if you haven't read it or you're not as far along as you want to be, then you're like, oh, I just not going to show up, or I don't want to let everybody down because I haven't read it. But it's like, we're not in school anymore. We're not in high school anymore. We don't have to hit a certain goal. You could still show up and learn something from it. But I mean, I just think whether it's book club or whatever you're doing, yeah, maybe just do your part, do what you can do. And in the big scheme of things in life, is it a big deal? I don't know,
Right. Yeah. Or maybe what you're struggling with, by being vocal and getting out of the silo that it's just you, and sharing with the bigger group or your coworkers, or saying like, man, I got to be honest with you guys. I'm really struggling right now. It sounds like everybody's doing great, but there's freedom in sharing that, right? Because then other people feel like oh my God, thank God you're struggling. I am too, actually. And then you both kind of, or, if there's more people, then you have a crowd of people that are like, dang, here we are. We were all siloing and having our own pity parties, but really like, okay, now that I know I'm not the only one, let's regroup and,
Yeah.
continue going forward.
And I can't say that I've always been great at that, like being vulnerable or saying like when I suck at something or I'm struggling with
Yeah.
something. But then it's like, that's a lot of times when you connect with other people or build friendships is when people actually admit that they're struggling with something.
So true.
So tell us about this second marathon or half marathon.
Yeah, it went so much better. We trained really hard, and actually
We
I
did.
went and I got fitted for some cute shoes that helped me so much. This time around I was having a lot of shin pain, so I got me some really cute compression socks that went up to my knees. But that changed my life. Carved up after run or before runs, like we were getting together a couple times a week. I felt really prepared. Like, we didn't complete the whole thing, but I felt like, okay, we've done this enough. I mean, oh my gosh, one time when we were running in the rain, I felt like I was drowning. Like, it was, we live in Seattle, so it was like humongous. I mean, we might as well have jumped into the ocean. It was like
Torrential downpour.
burning my eyes. It was insanity, but we were really committed to, and probably you, I'm speaking for both of us, but I was like, I don't want to be there again and my legs like fall apart. Like, I know what to expect. I want my body to be ready to, finish this race. So I felt like we were prepared and ready to go. We had the gear. My husband came with us this time, and he was so excited. He actually signed up for the 5K, and really excited for him to do it. And
I laugh because I know it's coming.
Yeah. And then we found a restaurant and got carved up. We were like, I think you ordered banana pancakes. I got
memory.
Yeah, thank you. I got this pasta that was way too spicy. I should have thought about the stomach stuff that happened the first time, but I still went with it. And we had a huge chunk of time because last year that we went, we were waiting like hours before the race. So we're like, we have time to do this. We're professionals now. Okay, Vegas, this is year 2. We've got it. Until we tried to get there. We had an hour to get there. We waited forever to get a taxi. We kept getting dropped by every Uber we ordered. It was like, what in the world? It would say someone was coming and then it would cancel. And I was like, again, like, oh my God, I hope you're not getting mad at me because I wanted pasta before the race. And then we finally got a cab, and then we were stuck. We saw the race was starting. It was like, we never made it to our race. We were stuck. They shut down the strip. There was no way getting there. We had them turn around, and we were bummed out, man. Bummed out.
Yeah, it actually, I feel like we waited like 2 hours for a taxi.
Probably.
And then finally we got one. And then I don't know, we were probably in the car like 45 minutes and the race had already started, and they don't let you join. So it was bad news.
Bad news bears.
Yep. But we made the best of it.
We
did. Went out and had a good night in Vegas.
We did. It was fun. We went, I think that one restaurant we went to like 3 times. It was so good. It was so good.
I cannot even remember it.
Oh, okay. Obviously, why are all my memories focused around food? Like, I'm like, oh, that one restaurant.
You just have a good memory.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? I couldn't remember that the wait was 2 hours, but I remember the pasta. But
yes.
Anyhow,
so
what was?
Then we made a pact that, well, no, the funny thing, which we felt bad about, was Shannon's husband ran the half or the 5K, and we didn't run the half. So we felt pretty bad because the 5K was the night before the half. So,
and he was going to not do it. He was starting to chicken out. And we were like, no, do it. You can do it. It'll be so great. Yeah.
But I think even for him, like, it was like a confidence booster. Like,
he loved it.
Yeah.
He wanted to go again this year.
And I think for anybody, like you go, and if you don't, especially you don't consider yourself a runner or something, then you go and you do it, and it's like, oh, you get a little bit of swag or a little bit of like
it's
pep
true.
in your step.
Yep, it's true.
Or I'm like, okay, if I could do that, then what else can I do?
Yeah. Yeah, I could tell because you had me sign up for the following.
That was supposed to be this November, but it was canceled.
It was supposed to. But God had other plans. He was like, you don't need to run the full. Yes.
So we came back to the waterfront and we ran.
We did the whole thing.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool though, because we didn't just like say, oh, we missed it. We didn't get to do it there. So what's the point? And we did it anyway. Like we came back and we did it. Is there anything that you learned from the second one?
My time was exactly the same, but I didn't have any physical problems. Like I felt stronger actually. And I thought we ran a lot more that time, but, I think just mentally I knew I could do it. So I don't know. And then I had the right equipment. I had the right shoes, the right socks. We had we wore our shirts, our tags, and had our swag bags. So we had the energy boosters and the drinks, the water and everything. So I felt like I was, prepared. I set myself up for success, and we finished. And even though I felt crazy doing it at home, I felt great completing it.
Yeah. No, I was glad that we completed it, just because it's one of those things like you set out to do it, you set your mind to do it, and it's kind of a letdown. I mean, well, obviously it's a letdown if you don't get to do it, and it's not the same energy as if you're at an actual like event.
Right.
But I think that it's still worth doing it, or still felt good.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about the importance of shoes, or what you learned?
Oh my gosh. Just that, I always thought it was insane paying that much money for running shoes. And I'm like, what difference can I actually make? And I remember my knees would just be aching so bad after every little practice run. And, it made me not want to do it because so much pain was associated with the running. And when I actually had, the right shoes that took the pressure off my knees, and I wasn't causing blisters, and I had the compression socks to help with the shin pain. Then all the benefits, right? I could feel the benefits way more than I could feel the pain of my shins and my knees begging for mercy.
So what's kind of the biggest takeaway that you have from your running experience?
I don't know. I think honestly, just how important it is to have the right people around you that are that feed into your goals, that feed positivity instead of, really, you could have said, we don't, the first day that I was like, oh, my feet hurt. You could have been like, oh, maybe let's not do this anymore. Or, my husband could have been like, oh, that's too long anyways. Who wants to run? You don't have, you know what I mean? Like, but putting, I think both of you guys, somehow I constantly put myself around people. Honestly, I want to say it's intentional, but I kind of feel just lucky. I have, to have those solid people around me that they don't let me quit, even when I want to, even when I'm like, this is not for me. I know this is not my bag, but having those people just be like, that's not true about you. You can finish this. You've done harder things. You've done this before. Like, stop saying that. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just been, I think that's the biggest takeaway, because life can be so hard, not just a race, right? But I think, there's tons of shows out there and things like that about, sports and life and, comparing the two. And, running is definitely athletic, especially long distance. I mean, half or full, whatever you're doing. I think that it's so important to have a healthy mental outlook on completing that goal, envisioning completing a goal. And then having people around you that just feed that life into that dream.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be times where you're going to want to quit. I mean, that's normal, I think.
Yes.
But
no.
having people remind you of the why you started and.
Yep. Totally agree. And also, really, that's part of O to B and why it's here, because I think that there's such power in having a group of women that are supportive of each other, and have each other's back and like rally around each other. So I agree, friend.
And that's what I think has been so cool about even watching you do this. It's like, man, I have always used you as an example because you've always been that type of person. I mean, I've known you since I was like 18, and having you've just always like, oh, I'm going to do this. And you've done it. Like, it's been hard, or it seemed impossible. And you still are like, it's just been fun to watch you, like, whether it's your career goals, your education, now your podcast and all this stuff. It's like, whoa, it's empowering too, right? When you see other women doing these things and it's like, oh, she said she was going to do that and she did.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if anything I'm doing is super cool, but it would feel neat if someone looked at me and was inspired to do their own thing because I just didn't quit.
Yes, but no, I would argue that you're badass. You just don't like fully own it or admit it. Maybe you don't see it for yourself. And I know that sometimes that's true. Like, we just don't see our own like coolness or badassery or whatever. But I think that you definitely you always undersell yourself, or quite often you undersell yourself when it's like, I feel like you should be walking in like, I'm badass, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's just friend talking.
I'll try that tomorrow in my staff meeting. See what happens.
If you could just stand up and do like a power pose, that would be great. You know, like hands on the hips and
exactly. Or isn't it the hands out and that?
I think that's another one. Yeah.
Power stance, right?
Okay, but have you ever tried a power pose?
I actually, yes. I watched a TED Talk once, and I definitely have done that.
It was
always this one. You know, with the hands up, the fingers
why
out.
This?
It's like you're taking because I can't show you my whole body. Like my hands. So this is what my fingers are doing, but I'm out here and I'm standing up. I'm taking up the most space I can physically before I have to do something hard.
Now I feel like I want to look up some pictures because I've never noticed the hand thing. Like maybe that looks timid now that I say that. Maybe
maybe that's my interpretation of it. I'm just like,
no, but that makes sense. But I'm thinking that you watched the Amy Cuddy video, like the TED Talk. And I actually read that book. And so, funny story. I know this isn't about me, but
continue.
But I did the power pose, or have done the power pose, like where you spread out your legs a little bit, like wider stance, and then you have your hands on your hips. And I remember one time, like I was in an interview process, and it was like, 4 or 5 hours. And I felt like I did really, really bad on one part of it, like the first part. And so then I went into the bathroom on a break and totally did the power pose. And then I got my game right back.
You know what? I even do that now. There's some people that I work with, I can get intimidated by. They're very smart, and it's just like, holy smokes sometimes. But I'll notice, I'll tune into like, either I'm, holding my arm, or I don't know, doing something that I like am physically making myself smaller, and then I'll intentionally put my hands on my hips or push my shoulders back or whatever, because I think that's for real.
Yes. And I think like before I ever tried it, I was like, come on, that's a little woo woo or a little out there.
Yes.
But then I've done it, it actually works.
It's true. It's science.
Well, I think that you're joking, but I think that it's actually a little bit true.
I do.
Because then your like adrenaline gets going a little bit, like it gets you a little bit excited.
So.
Like, yeah.
Right.
So there you have it, folks. It's science.
There you have it.
All right, Shan. So what is one tip that you'd give to the badass women out there that are in the arena fighting for the life that they want?
I think write down your goals, pray over your goals or repeat your goals. Think about like, what are you doing every day that helps set you up for those, and putting yourself around people that will encourage those goals, and help you to either that are honest with you too. None of my close friends are ever the ones that are just saying, oh, you're doing fantastic. Those same friends are saying, oh, yikes, that was rough how you did that, or oh, I think you need to, they're in my blind spots. In other words, like they're actually giving me real feedback. But what's great is I end up having more trusting relationships when I feel like it's like they are being honest. They're not just saying, oh yeah, you're knocking it out of the park every time, because it's not true. But they also, I know, like they love me unconditionally even when I fail. So that's awesome too. So I think being smart about the choices of who you put yourself around, and everyone goes through seasons. So, if you have a friend that maybe you're starting to feel like they aren't that for you, I'm not saying cut everybody out, but maybe be more selective of the amount of time that you're spending with that person if during that season you need someone that's supporting you.
Yes. So important. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Shan, how can we connect with you?
You can reach me on my Instagram.
The gram, yeah.
The gram. Real Housewives of Pierce County. I'm not kidding. That is my name on there. So you can find me. But mostly you'll just see pictures of my adorable children. And the occasional meme.
Love it. And by the way, before we close this out, I think that you should know, and I would love feedback on this. Don't you think that Shan would be perfect to start her own YouTube channel? I think so.
Oh,
let's get some votes here.
I mean, if only for my singing abilities alone. Absolutely.
Right. We all heard that intro you came up with. So yes and yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Shan, for being on the show. You've been a total badass, and I've enjoyed hearing your story.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll end our show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, own it and get after it. Did you enjoy this episode of the podcast? Well, I have a super secret podcast episode for you. It's only for Ordinary to Badass podcast listeners. I know what you're going to say. I've been holding out. And it's true. But I wanted to create this episode all about your badassery and how you can be a badass and what it really means to be a badass. I don't know that I've said all of this stuff. Well, actually, I know I haven't said all this stuff on the podcast before. And I think it's really important that you hear it. So, if you want to get a hold of this secret podcast episode, go to ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. And if you know somebody who you think is a badass and needs to realize it, or you just think they would enjoy this podcast, send them to ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. I know that you have a lot on your plate, but it really does mean the world to me if you share this episode or share these podcasts with your friends, family, people that you know could use them. I want to bring as much value to as many people as possible, and I also want to share the word about what a badass is. Can you help me? And with that, I'll talk to you soon.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future Spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.